Hey everyone. Well, late starting because I had to watch the NFL CBS Thursday night football game pitting the visiting New England Patriots against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the end. And, of course, the Buccaneers lost a game that they should have won. They lost it in, I would say, unusual fashion. Not sad fashion, to be sure. Unusual, definitely. And unusual because they didn't lose it in the way that you would think, well, all right, the Pats blew them out of the stadium, or Tom Brady threw for 400 yards, or something like that. Oh, no. They lost it on a man, on the shoulders, or really more accurately, the leg of a man whose name is a worldwide Twitter trend as I speak. And his name is Nick Folk. That's right, Nick Folk is a worldwide Twitter trend for having cost the Buccaneers the game. Because that's exactly what happened. He cost them the game. The Buccaneers really lost a game they should have won. And there is no other way to put it than that the Buccaneers lost a game they should have won. And they played much better in the second half. But throughout the game, the Buccaneers were essentially battling themselves. If it wasn't James Winston missing a key throw to continue a drive twice in the first quarter, then it was running plays being used with Doug Martin at times when the Bucs should have thrown. And then when they did throw, calling pass plays that were questionable. In other words, why would you want to call that play like the wide receiver screen to Deshaun Jackson, knowing that the Pats are playing close defense? It made no sense whatsoever to me that they would actually try that game. New England was lucky to come away with a victory, 19-14, and this was by far the most awful game I've ever seen the Pats play. The New England Patriots had no business at all winning that contest. They were lucky to win it. They really were. It was like they were just set up as, how do I put it? It's like the Patriots were set up just as the sparring partner for the Buccaneers. It was more like a test for the Bucs. Like, oh, let's see if you guys can really pull this off. Let's see if you can beat this reasonable facsimile of the New England Patriots, because they played like it did the Patriots. They were just plain awful. They were just plain awful. And now, if you're a Raider fan, as I am, you are buoyed in what you witnessed, because it means that, well, among other things, if this continues, when the Raiders finally play the Patriots wherever they play, hopefully it's the Coliseum, but it looks like it's still going to be, south of the border, it means the Raiders have a better chance of winning against them. That's how it looks on paper, okay? That's how it looks on paper. But, these are the Patriots. They do seem to get the lucky calls. They do have an interesting way of playing that some might call gauche. What would you call it? Some would say cheating. Some would say that they cheat. Some would say that they don't get caught cheating. Others would say that they maybe are the recipient of luck from a casino. Hey, Raider Flea, how are you doing? Some would say that the Patriots are still operating off of the playbook of, what would you call it? The Cheatergate? Cheaterville? Whatever nickname that people have for the Patriots when they think that the Patriots are basically the recipient of something other than the results of good football play, like, maybe a referee influenced here or there, that sort of thing, right? I'm only saying, I'm not saying this is the case. I'm only explaining what people think, okay? I'm only, like some of my viewers, hello. I'm only explaining what people think. Some people think that the Patriots are the recipient of some questionable calls that might involve some unusual dealings, although that's never been proven, all right? But this case, what happened was that the Patriots just, the Patriots stunk up the place, but the Bucs were worse. And Nick Folk, as I speak again, Nick Folk is a Twitter trend. He is, and I've got to tweet this out because that's why in fact, I've got to edit this because it's not Nick Folks. It's Nick Folk. I believe that's right. Is Nick Folks or Folks? Let me correct that going to Twitter and make sure that the spelling of his name is correct before I tweet this out. Otherwise, it will not be seen. Nick Folk with one, that's right. Not plural, it's singular. And so right, there we go. Now it's corrected, and now we can go to the watch page, and now I can tweet it out accurately. And share, and go to Twitter, and get it out here. Ravens versus Ravens preview. I hope everybody is well tonight. Preview. We had a lively discussion last night. It's Thursday night tonight. I don't look for a replay of that, but you never know. I do know there's a lot to talk about. What would you have done? And I'm saying hello to everybody. Hey, welcome to Zenny62 live for Thursday night, October 5th already. Leading into Friday, October 6th, depending on how you look at it, because my clock says it's 12:01. Is that right? And it can't be. Did I start at 12:01? I did. Okay, I started at 12:01. It happens. Well, last night usually I started at 11:30, which is 8:30. So I did start at 12:01. The time change, folks, gets to me from time to time. But I'll have to work on an earlier time start. It's hard because you have like Thursday night football and you want to make sure you catch the Thursday night football game, right? And you want to watch it to the end. The trouble is that it ends out here on the East Coast almost at midnight. Okay? The game ended 20 minutes ago, thereabouts. 20 minutes ago. And it ended on the last play of the game. So, what do? And I wanted to be able, I didn't want to, the TV up here doesn't work with the cable currently. So this TV has been inactive for some time. And so I was downstairs. This is an office, all right? This is not a bedroom. This is an office. As some of you may have seen, this is an office. See? This is not a bedroom. This is an office. So, every place else is downstairs. So I wasn't able to stay up here and watch it. I wanted to go down there and watch it. Besides plasma screen, it's better and all that stuff, right? But you know what? It was a game, talking about this Patriots game, where I really thought at one point that Tom Brady was going to go down with a season-ending injury. That's just how hard they were hitting him, and that's just how much of a vulnerable position he was putting himself in. It was pretty bad, okay? I mean, it was pretty bad. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now is I'm putting this on live on social media so that people will find it. And for those of you who don't normally see my broadcasts, because I'm using YouTube Live Mobile, it doesn't allow you to preset a watch page. You have to do the tagging and the social media distribution as you start the live stream with this. That's just the way it goes for now. Hopefully it will improve in the future. Hey Barry Lee, hey Joseph Binsman, how you doing? How are you? And as I said again, Raider Flea, hello. Hello. Did anyone of you see the game? Did anyone see the contest? Just curious. Did anyone see? Really, I thought it was entertaining, as my mom said, it was an entertaining game. Welcome to Zinni62 Live. We are talking about right now the Thursday night football game just played. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to Nick Folk. As King West says, Nick Folk is trash. If you're watching video on demand right now, I am referring to the chats in text that are being written on the screen in front of me and right down below on my laptop. And one of our newer members of our flock, named King West IENT, which I guess means King West Enterprises, writes, Nick Folk is trash. Waiter Kuko says, hi Zinni, it was a very interesting game and made one appreciate our backup kicker even more. You can say that again. And Barry Lee said he saw parts of it. The Buccaneers, I have to believe, have a coaching problem with respect to special teams, because you can't place it all on just the kicker. And I'm watching the game here with my mom, and I said, they should have him out there practicing kicks on the sideline, not sitting there sulking like, I'm so upset, letting it fester into his head. Okay? But on the other hand, if I knew that my kicker was that bad and I had gotten that down close to the goal, I would not. When I got to 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, I would have not have kicked that field goal. I would have not done that. I would have went for it on 4th and 3. I really would have. Again, the Buccaneers should be concerned that they didn't win the game. And this is one of those games where, to me, they thought so much about winning before it started that they forgot to think about football. And the Patriots forgot how to play football. The Patriots definitely thinking about football. They had a lot of the right calls, but they forgot how to play football. Okay, and so King West says that we have a kicker curse. Hey, King West, what is going on? Do you blame? Here's my question to you, King West. Do you blame Dirk Carter? Or do you blame Nick Folk? Or do you blame, who's your special teams person? Let's find out who your special teams person is. Let's see, Tampa Bay coaches. Let's see here. Hey Hennessy, how are you? And we have Dirk Carter, and that's the Tampa Bay coaches. We know that Dirk Carter is the head coach. I've met the man. I like Dirk Carter a lot. Now, in terms of the list of coaches, according to the roster, we have, let's see, the special teams coordinator is Nate Kazor. So that's the guy that you blame. Nate Kazor is the one. There's no designated kicking coach. It's Nate Kazor, okay? So Nate Kazor is the one the person that you blame. Nate Kazor is the Buccaneers special teams coach. However, King West says that he blames Dirk. And Hennessy says our kickers are perfect so far. But, so King West, if you can't, well, look, you really could replace the head coach in the interim. Do you want Dirk Carter to be fired right now? If you were given the job of determining how to fix Nick Folk's problem, what would you do? Then he's already answered he would not call for Dirk Carter to be fired. What would you do come tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, what would your first move be? I mean, because I know what mine would be. And so he says, just fire the kicker. He is atrocious. So yeah, you get rid of the kicker. He lost the game for them. 9 points. He missed 3. And to add insult to injury, as I've said before, the Patriots lined up their kicker for a 48-yarder and boom. No problem, no muss, no fuss, as they say. He makes the kick. He is a professional kicker in the NFL. He makes it. Not a problem. So now, Joseph Bensman says, my Yanks need to step it up tomorrow. Got to check on that. And for Joseph Bensman also says for Folk, he says, this is the second bad week in a row for Folk. He nearly blew the game winner against the Giants last Sunday. Clearly, his best days are behind him when he was a Jet. Yeah, but why? Why is it that Tampa is becoming the place where good kickers go to become bad? Because we had Robert Aguayo, and then something happened with Robert, and next thing you know, they ship him off to Chicago where he doesn't do any better, and then he's off getting, married. Hey, Rick Rice, welcome you, the man. And he's off getting married to his gorgeous bride, who was his girlfriend at Florida State. And they have Nick Folk, and Nick Folk just goes on this decline. There's something in the water in Tampa that's causing this to happen. And what say you, our special guest King? King, he says, just fired the kicker. What say you? Hey, Rick Rice, did you watch the game? Did you watch the Thursday night contest pitting the visiting New England Patriots against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the Patriots won 19 to unbelievably 14? And let's see here. Rick Rice says, I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence. 3 misses is a coincidence? You got to explain that one. Oh, you're saying it's a coincidence that the Bucs just happen to have 2 bad kickers? I disagree with that. I think there's something in the coaching water that causes that. Because there is one constant. Mr. Nazur, the special teams coach, is the one constant. And, you got to go back to that, okay? And they've had 2 bad kickers who... It's not just that they've had 2 bad kickers. They had 2 bad kickers who were good. And then something happened that made them bad. You don't just become bad for nothing. King West says he was missing kicks last week during a good game versus the Giants. He's just garbage. He has to be the worst in the league. Yeah, but look at Robert Aguayo. He went into a slump too. What I'm saying is it has to be at some level the responsibility of the coach, the special teams coach, to get it right. To work with the kickers and get it right. Otherwise, you're going to get rid of another kicker. How many kickers does it take for a person to bring in before you tell me it is the coach's fault if each kicker keeps just, hey, you know what, failing? Why is it that we're so quick to blame the players and not turn around and say, oh, you know what? Maybe this coach isn't doing something he should be doing, all right? Now, Rick Rice says there are a lot of bad kickers in the league, Zenny. But not the Raiders have had mucho success with kickers. And I've got to believe that's coaching. I've got to believe that the Raiders have a tradition of coaching their kickers a certain way that produces this outcome. And I've got to believe that is as much a contribution to the performance as the kicker alone, as the kicker himself, okay? So I've got to believe that. Now, Hennessy says they could work with them, but at the end, the kicker needs to put it through. Right, but that's my point, Hennessy. I'm asking a question. What is it that they're doing on a regular weekly basis? How often does he practice with the team? What kind of exercises, what kind of mindset is he in? Do they practice situations on a daily basis where he is the man? He has to be the man. You pipe in the music, and you pipe in the crowd noise, you get them all worked up and say, hey man, if you miss this, it's going to cost you $100,000. that would really pressure him. Dude, this chick, it's $100,000, Or maybe more realistically, you say, okay, look, you missed this kick in practice, it costs you $1,000. Boom. Because in the game, it's going to matter. That puts pressure on him. And then you really take $1,000 out of his salary. Stuff like that. I say that because I'm thinking of Buddy Ryan and how he had the rumored bounty, on quarterbacks. And people, the defensive linemen would make money based on, what they did to get a quarterback out of the game. A monetary incentive. So coaching matters. All right, enough of me. Now, Patrick in Blackman says Bucs secondary was horrible. Hey, Patrick, how are you? And Hennessy, I said that about Hennessy. Rick Rice says, you just jinxed us. We're going to lose by a missed field goal now. Oh, Come on. King West is our resident Bucs expert, and he chimes in and he says, Belichick paid folk to throw the game. I cannot believe he was that bad. His kicks weren't even close. No, they weren't. I mean, what was that one? It was like so off to the side, the camera went with it. Remember that? It was like, wow. I mean, that was hilarious. I thought he really missed it that much. Reminds me of Don Adams as in Get Smart as Maxwell Smart. He missed it by that much. So, but he really did. He missed it by that much. So, it's hilarious. So, Barry says, Tweetsman, thank you, Mr. Lee. And King West says, is it safe to say Hargraves is a bust? I think, I don't want to say Hargraves is quite the bust yet, but, you know, I'm going to say one thing about Bucs players as far as Hargraves and his performance with the Buccaneers, and what King West is talking about is he's talking about Vernon Hargraves III, who arguably when he was drafted in the 2016 NFL Draft 11th overall, he was the best cornerback coming out of the SEC, the Southeast Conference. And, you know, having went to school, I mean, not the Southeast Conference, but the Atlantic Coast Conference, but having went to school at Florida. And Vernon Hargreaves, he was definitely one of the best cornerbacks coming out of the NFL Draft. But I don't see Vernon Hargreaves as your zone guy. I see Vernon Hargreaves as more, and I thought this is what he was going to be for the Bucs. I thought he was going to be more your shutdown corner. And if you don't, I mean, I'd love to know your view about this, King West, but to me, you've got to put that person in the position to be a shutdown corner to get shutdown corner performance out of him. I mean, I thought that Vernon Hargreaves was that guy that you put there and say, you know what, sick him. Now, having said that, let's look at the draft, his draft review. All right, draft evaluation. Yeah, draft evaluation. All right, and Vernon Hargreaves draft profile. Here's the draft profile. Okay. His grade at the combine was 6.6. Draft analysis, Tampa Bay moves back a couple of slots and takes a guy they would have selected at number 9 and gets a couple of picks in the process. Hargreaves has the best corner feet I've ever seen in the draft in 2 or 3 years. The only knock is that he has poor eye discipline. That's Mike Mayock, okay? And see, if you have poor eye discipline, you don't want to put a guy like that in the zone if he's has poor eye discipline, as Mayock says. Just saying, all right? Now, King West says that Vernon is not even close to being a shutdown. He's too slow. He gets owned every play. But how many times have they put Hargreaves in a position to be man for man? All right? That's my point. Because, you know, Mike Smith is not known as a man for man blitz guy. You guys don't blitz a lot in Tampa. All right? You don't blitz a lot. You sit down, you sit back with your 4 short, 3 deep zone, sometimes 5 short man, 2 deep zone, but generally it's 5 short press zone, okay? I don't see you guys playing cover 1 a lot and doing the double A gap zone, the double A gap blitzes, let alone double A gap zone blitzes. You see what I'm getting at? I don't see that. So now Barry Lee says, who's watching Saturday Night Live? Wonder Woman will be good. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to finish the conversation about football. And King West is talking about Vernon Hargreaves. And he says, why Conti is still on the team? Whose daughter is he? But Chris Conti is on the team because he can hit. And he's great against the run. He made a couple of stops against the run coming up at safety, okay? So Conti is great if you're going to play a 46 defense, which gets me back to the central point about the Bucs problem. And the Bucs problem is that they don't play an aggressive style of defense for the type of defenders they've got from college, okay? Conti is a great rover guy. Hargreaves is great shutdown corner type, but you have to put him in position to be a shutdown corner. And you have to have the confidence that he can do it. But Hargreaves, you're going to put him in the position to be a shutdown corner, you got to do what? You got to blitz, all right? That's all I'm saying. You got to blitz. Now, King Jose. King Jose, how you doing? Yes, it is a Warrior shirt I have on right here. Hold on a second. And I wear it proudly. It says strength in numbers, as you can tell. And the last time I checked, the Warriors were still the NBA champions. And the last time that I checked, Kevin Durant was still the MVP of the NBA Finals. And I know that you were crying about it, but the other question that I have is this. First of all, did you see the Thursday night football game? Second of all, King Jose, how are you doing? Third of all, did you make the team at Michigan State? In any combination. Where's John Marks when you need him? Hey, John, look who's here. Look who's here. King Jose. And as Barry Lee asks, how's the training coming along? King West, new guy. King Jose is one of our major chatters who believes that, and he believes that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Yes, King Jose has been affected with this idea in his mind that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. And we have worked on King Jose to change his mind for some time, but the good part about King Jose is that King Jose is trying out to be on, or has been trying out, I believe, to be on the Michigan State basketball team. King Jose, how did it go? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm waiting for your chat response to let us know, are you on the team? Because you know, he's never told us his name, has he? Or did I miss something? All right. And so, yeah, so I'm waiting for King Jose's comment. As I wait for that, I'll go back to my comments regarding the Bucs game, and then I'll turn back. Joseph Bensman, I know, is interested in talking about the Yankees and what happened with the Yankees. In fact, on that note regarding the Yankees, very quickly, I'm going to do this. First of all, I want to go back, and because I'm really having fun with this whole outcome regarding this game that the Buccaneers should have won. Now, Mr. King West Entertainment, you agree with me? The Bucs should have won that game, right? Just asking, okay? All right. And I'm going back to Jameis Winston's finished. He was 28 of 46 for 334 yards, 1 touchdown. And Rick Rice says King Jose is catfishing us. Tom Brady had an atrocious game. He was 30 of 40 with all that. 303 yards. Let's get the box score here, all right? Get it to where it's better. We have a better look here. Jameis Winston threw no interceptions. You can't blame him. He was 20 of 46 for 334 yards. Brady was 30 of 40 for 303, 1 touchdown but 1 interception. And the running game for the Pats was Doug Martin had 13 rushes for 74 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest game was 18 yards. Jameis Winston was 3 for 11. Chris Sims III was 1 for 3, and Jacquizz Rodgers was 3 rushes for 2 yards. And you've got, for the Patriots, they had Lewis 7 for 63, Gillespie, 12 for 52. Tom Brady was 2 for 6, and Mr. White was 2 for 3. Receiving, Brandon Cooks was 5 for 85. Deshaun Jackson was 5 for 106 yards. Longest game was 41 yards. Doesn't take much to get Deshaun Jackson in the game with his speed. Mr. Brate was 5 for 68. Humphreys 3 for 51. Mike Evans 5 for 49. Chris Sims III was, wow, interesting. He was 5 for 31. Rodgers 1 for 13. Godwin 1 for 8. And Doug Martin 1 for 8. But you got to say, what was going on with O.J. Howard not being able to turn around and see the ball. Okay? This was their game. Good evening, Mr. Grogan, Sean Grogan. Welcome to Zenny62 Live, and we're talking all things. And where Barry Lee says, what better than MJ? Oh, how good it is to be young. Well, that's what he said. King Jose chimed in with the blast some time ago that ignited Zenster Nation, and kind of like consternation. He gave Zinster Nation consternation by claiming that Michael Jordan was, excuse me, not as good as LeBron James. Ooh. Now, in some circles, those are Dim's, fighting words. That's what he said, okay? But that is what he said. Unbelievably. Now, hey, go CSU Rams. How are you? Great to see you. And welcome to Zenny62 Live tonight, which promises to be yet another lively discussion about sports. And yeah, Barry Lee, you're right. Barry Lee, King Jose has not, and I repeat, has not told us his name. And I'm trying to find out what's going on, that he hasn't done that. You want to explain that? I mean, I would love to know what the issue there was, okay? Let's see here. I'm tweeting this out a little bit more. TE. There's different types of hashtags. You either use Pats, hashtag Pats versus Bucs, right? Or you can use hashtag, which is the common one, NEVSTB. All right. So, okay. Glad you're doing good. And all right, now, Joseph Binsman, are you still there? Because I'm going to turn to baseball for a moment. And go CSU Rams was rooting for the Bucs. No, hey, okay. Quick quiz, because we had our Buccaneers expert with us for a spell. I guess he's gone. Don't know. But quick question to you. Who do you blame for the loss? This is an open-ended question. Just want to know, who do you blame for the loss? Why did the Buccaneers lose a game they should have won against the world champion New England Patriots? What was all that about? And just because the Bucs stink? Well, think about that. Come on, put your Zinster hat on and give us an answer. You blame the field goal kicker. You're talking about Nick Folk. That's right. Now, what would you do? Would you fire the head coach? How would you straighten out the problem with Nick Folk? Nick Folk missed not one time, not two times, but three times. He cost them 9 points, man. So, I mean, he got my new friend here, King West Entertainment, so upset. I think he's speechless now. He's pounding sand over there. Isn't that right, King West? So, how would you fix this? I'm curious. What would you do to set it right? And as King West says, release him. Release him. Rick Rice says the field goal kicker is elite. Faceplant. 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 No. Faceplant. By the way, if you can please share this on Facebook, this chat on Facebook, and let them know we're doing it, all right? Joseph Binsman asks, is Janikowski close to coming back yet? No, and not close. Also, we've got, let me read some of the tweets about Nick Folk, since you all are so pissed off about him. And I'm going to share with you, well, yeah. You got to see some of these tweets, folks. This is hilarious. Hold on to your tails. This is going to be Jameis and Nick Folk's locker after the game. That's funny. Skip Bayless says, we will debate Cam's apology tomorrow at 9:30. And see you then. Good night, Nick Folk. If Nick Folk misses, I'll follow everyone who retweets this. Wow. Nick Folk is lacking in confidence. Oh, really? Was it the missed field goals, or the 2 missed field goals last week, or the 6 missed field goals in warm-up? Ooh. So this is something that happened in warm-up. NFL humor. I'd make a joke about Nick Folk, but at this point, it's like making fun of a handicapped child. Oh, that's bad. Sports Shin says Nick Folk will still have a job tomorrow. Sophomore Slump says, when Nick Folk sees Roberto Aguayo in the unemployment line. Oh, man. That's hilarious. The 617 report says Nick Folk's lining up for the kick. That's hilarious. Oh, boy. Not Sports Center. When Nick Folk sees when he attempts a kick, this is what he sees. Oh, boy. Nick Folk after Pats give him the game ball. Oh, so those tweets are hilarious. Those are the top tweets under Nick Folk, which, as I talk to you, is still the worldwide trend on Twitter. Now, Go CSU Ram says, stupid field goal kicker, he missed 9 points. How can you miss a field goal? How? Rick Rice says, Tupac is still alive. Yeah. And Rick Rice says, Jono can't come back till week 8. Correct. Correct. Yeah, excuse me. Long day. We've got, now shifting to, take a bit of a look here at baseball. Find out what happened. And hey, ML Scott, how are you? Patrick M. Blackman, O.J. Howard was horrible. Yeah, he didn't even turn around. I mean, he didn't turn around. Again, this game was such a, like, the New England Patriots played like they were sparring partners for the Bucs, and the Bucs couldn't beat their sparring partner. That's what it looked like to me. Hey, Eric Madison, how are you? How are you? Great to have you here as well. And like I said, this is another, for those of you who invest double shares night. For those of you who are so inclined to, chime in and part with your coffee money, as I like to say. But this is a lot of fun, having these conversations. And Joseph Binsman says, what does he say here? He says, got it. I was wondering if he's healthy or if he's dealing with his issue. That last play was sad tonight. It was very sad. I'll research the answer to that game. But if you're talking about Nick Folk, I think Rick Rice, I think he was talking about Nick Folk rather. I didn't think Nick was sick. And Blackman says Tampa Bay lost that game more than New England won. That was the Buccaneers game. That was the Buccaneers game to win. Because, look, Tom Brady personally turned the ball over twice himself. 1 interception and 1 fumble. And he was missing wide open receivers, particularly in the first half. I mean, it's like Brady and the Pats just sort of gave them the game. Here, take it. It's yours. Here, it's yours. And the Bucs kind of like, I can't quite hold on. Oops. That's how it was. So, Joseph Binsman says, no, Janikowski, I was wondering if he's healthy and has to wait until week 8, or if he's still dealing with injury issues as we speak. Let me see here. Let me see what NFL tells me. Sorry about that. Janikowski. Okay. And news is that well, I don't know. I don't know what his progress is after being on injured reserve. I just know he's still on injured reserve. Okay, so I just know he's on injured reserve. Joseph says no Janikowski. I always got that one. Patrick M. Blackman says it wasn't rocket science. Jam Patriots receivers, especially slot receivers, and cover the middle of the field. And Patrick, that's what I was talking with King about. King West Entertainment, who is the Bucs fan who chimed in. The Buccaneers have, for example, Vernon Hargreaves III, who is a shutdown corner, but they don't put him in the position to do that. What does that mean? It means you call man-for-man defense, but in order to help out a shutdown corner, you got to blitz. You have to play tight, and they don't do that. They play loose. So Brady, particularly in the first half, was pretty much, when he was able to sit up and throw, having his way with the Buccaneers. Fortunately for the Bucs defense, their defensive line brought it tonight. I have to say, their defensive line brought it. When I think he was sacked 3 times, but he was hurried a lot more, and he was at least hit, I think, what, 38 times, something like that, some pretty high number. So the Buccaneers defense has nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, nothing. They did a great job to hold New England under its average. They basically held New England in place, begging for the offense to come back and do its job. And Go CSU Rhyme said the Bucs stuck tonight. I was hoping that the Patriots would go lose tonight and go 2-3 after this game. Now they're 3-2. Yeah, this was a pivotal contest early in the season. The kind of contest where you look back and as a Raiders fan, you think, licking chops like, yeah, yum. I'm going to eat me some Patriot tonight. Yeah, because those Bucs going to chew them up and spit them out. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Goes to say you got to be the leader of your own destiny, right? You've got to make it happen. Now, I said I was going to take check on Major League Baseball, and I will do that right now. I will go to MLB.com, because this is also my favorite time of year from a baseball perspective. The baseball playoffs are on, okay? And while I'm at it, I want to send a hearty, speaking of baseball, hearty congratulations to a great guy with the A's, Taj Chombe, who is now Vice President of External Affairs for the Oakland Athletics. If you ever see Taj on the street, Taj is T-A-J. He's a great brother, cool glasses, got a short cropped hair look cut, wears dark, kind of tinted glasses a bit there, round, little goatee there, round face, little mustache there. Say, hey, aren't you that dude that Zenny was talking about on his live stream? Congratulations, man. So, all right. New York Yankees. Indians. Cleveland Indians 4. Yankees. Again, Cleveland Indians 4. Yankees. ALDS Game 1. Cleveland leads 1-0. But you're not rooting for the Indians to come back and go back to the World Series? Wouldn't that be cool to have a Cubs Indians rematch? I mean, you don't want that? I'm just asking, all right? So you've got Boston. Astros beat the Red Sox 8-2. And then you've got the Chicago Cubs at Washington coming up Friday night, October 6th, 7:30, and the Cubs are going to lead off with Hendricks versus Strasburg for the Washington Nationals. So that's exciting. And you know what? Maybe I'll get a chance to go to Wrigley Field for a game for the first time in my life. Yes, I did say that. Ooh. All right, I did say that. Okay. So Joseph Bensman says, Indians pitch great tonight. No shame in losing that game. I like that by Joseph Bensman. No shame in losing that game. Patrick Bensman says the secondary lost the game for the Buccaneers. Yeah, they did. But I think it was less the secondary, more the defensive calling. It was too loose. And you needed that occasional, like for example, when they had the Pats back there on the 2-yard line, you blitz the heck out of it. You play tight defense. You try to force that safety, man. You get that 2 points. At least you'll get some more points that your field goal kicker wasn't getting. You know what I mean? So, Joseph Bensman says, Indians pitch great tonight. No shame in losing their game. I love my Yanks. Young team, laugh out loud. Would love to see them go far. Are you from New York? Rick Wright says, Zinni, did you find out who made this? I don't want to talk about that. So Barry Lee says, hey, Zinni, a local investigator here in Texas claims that he has evidence that OJ's son killed Nicole years ago and that the LAPD won't investigate his claims. I have the link and I'll send it to you. Yeah, I've always believed that myself. And that OJ was covering up for someone like his son because the timeline just didn't work out. And I understand that, unless I'm not mistaken, OJ Simpson did not have a great relation. OJ Simpson's son did not have a great relationship with Nicole Brown Simpson. So, just wondering about that. And so, Patrick and Blackman says, I heard that years ago too. Joseph Binsman says, New Jersey, pal, but I root for all New York City teams. Knicks, Giants, Yanks, Rogers. Hey, do you live in New Jersey? I love that area. You know, New York, New Jersey. I'm curious to know, if you live in New Jersey, have you ever done the Sopranos tour? Just asking. Have you ever done the Sopranos tour? And Patrick M. Blackman says, children tend to get in the middle of things like that. Rick Rice says, let's see here. If you believe that, you believe Oakland's O-line got car injured on purpose too. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I mean, that's a crock. Yeah, it's one of those fake news things. But I do believe that O.J. Simpson's son had something to do with it. But they checked them out and it wasn't the case. I don't believe O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown Simpson. I'm sorry, I never believed it. And it was at a time when interracial relationships were not popular in the United States. And it was also at a time we don't have the sensitive media we have now. I don't mean sensitive in terms of what people say, but I mean in terms of picking up everything that goes on, social media. And so if you had social media, a guy like Mark, like the guy that Mark Burnham, whatever his name is, would have been outed before as a racist on social media. Mark, what's his last name? But he would have been outed before on social media. And so, period. So I really hold to that. But my point is that that's interesting though. That's an interesting idea. I will say that the one thing that I'm looking forward to, Mark Furman, that idiot. The one thing that I'm looking forward to, however, is interviewing O.J. Simpson in Las Vegas. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to find him someplace in Las Vegas and get that interview. So, Go CSU Ram says, I hope the Dodgers kick the Diamondbacks' butt. Go Dodgers and go Cubs. So, do you want to see the Dodgers and the Cubs? Who wants to see the Cubs return to the World Series? Me. Who else? Who wants to see a Cleveland Indians Cubs rematch? Me. Go CSU Rams wants to see the Cubs back in the World Series. But do you want to see the Cleveland Indians take them on? What do you want to see? You do? Okay. Yeah, so we're two of a kind. There we go. Do you remember where you were when the Cubs won the World Series? I do. I have the video. I have the video. And let's see here. We've got... Oh, and Joseph Binsman says, I live in New Jersey, love my state. What about The Sopranos? I love the show, laugh out loud, and it was often filmed around my area. Yeah, there is, or was, the Sopranos tour. I don't know if it's still going or not. Patrick and Blackman says the best should go up against the best. Agreed. 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 Invest in the best while you're at it. Now, let me see if I can find... Oh, by the way, Rick, Joe Flacco, are you going to the game, Rick? Are you going to the Raiders game? To see your elite quarterback? In fact, speaking of which, talking about that, before I get to the discussion of the Raiders against the Ravens, let me do this. Let me see what else has been tweeted lately about Nick Folk. Nothing. Nick Folk makes 3... This is the headline, all right? It's Buccaneers kicker Nick Folk misses 3 field goals and Patriots escape with win. They did. They quite literally did escape. There's no other way you can describe that but that. They escaped with a win. Escaped big time. Now, Joseph Benson says if his Yanks don't make it, he would like to see the Dodgers take on the Houston Astros. Why the Dodgers and the Astros? I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm curious. Oops, excuse me there. Didn't mean to do that. Was making an adjustment. Doesn't involve you guys, don't worry, you're safe. It was another adventure in tweeting, okay? That's what this was. By the way, we have to report the latest news about Cam Newton. Cam Newton did issue an apology, which I'll play for you in a second. However, he did so under duress. I will tell you what caused Cam Newton to make that apology. All right. So let me show you that. All right. Okay. So this is what caused Cam Newton right here. Now, Bucs 19 Gaming says the next Buc game I'm going to wear a folk jersey that says I believe. I love it. I love it. I love it. Donut says Vegas news. Nah, I'm steering clear of the Vegas news right now for some obvious reasons. However, I'm also digging for some information. Now, Go CSU Rams says that I was at home watching that game and hoping that the 108-year World Series deficit would be behind them, and it happened. As one who's born in Chicago, all right. As one who's been a Cubs fan, all right. As one who's also an A's fan, how about the Cubs and the A's? Wouldn't that be cool? Joseph Binsman says, I will ask my cousin about the Sopranos tour. Joseph Binsman says, just two fun-loaded teams. I think it'll make a fun series. Plus, can't really root against Houston after Harvey. Great point. The Bucs 19 Gaming says the next Bucs game, I'm going to wear a folk jersey that says, I believe. I'm repeating this for a third time. The next Bucs game, Bucs 19 Gaming says that he's going to wear a jersey that says, that basically says, Nick, folk, I believe, all right? That's funny. That's hilarious. Go CSU Rams says, thank goodness you Cam Newton for apologizing. And Joseph Binsman says, heard Dan pulled their sponsorship of Cam. Oh, that's what I'm getting to. Rick Rice says, Cam Newton shouldn't have to apologize for anything. Yes, he should have. And he did. Rick Rice says, PC police are working overtime. But yeah, it doesn't cost you money. Okay? So you can say that. It cost him money. So what he did was stupid. Just plain stupid. And he learned the hard way. Okay? So you can say that because at the end of the day, it's not coming out of your pocket, but it's coming out of his. So Bucs 19 Gaming says, hey, Tampa Bay, got kicker, just threw the game, yay. Do you think Nick Folk was paid? Just asking. Now, just asking. I love it, Bucs. He loves it. Bucs, welcome, you're a Zenster. Welcome to the Zenny 62 family. You've been baptized. Now, as far as that's concerned, Go CSU Rams states, if the Cubs-A's World Series happen, who would you root for, Zenny, Cubs or A's? Woo! Oh, man. The A's. The A's, because I'm an Oakland boy. I mean, I was born in Chicago, all right? But here's how I look at it. I love both teams, but I love the A's more. The Chicago Cubs are more part of my roots of Chicago and everything, right? But the A's are the A's. I know people on the A's. I'm known vice president of stadium management, Dave Renetti, for almost 30 years, I guess. I have so many long-standing ties with the Oakland Athletics. How could I root against them? Just not the thing to do, okay? At all. And at all. Bucs Gaming says, I was at the Bucs game and I witnessed the end of Folk's career. Hey, Buck, what was the mood in the crowd? Did you all walk in fearing the Patriots would win, or did you walk in expecting the Bucs to win? There's a difference, because I was watching my mom and she was afraid the Bucs would lose, and so she would say, touchdown, because she was so sure the Patriots were going to score, and I would say, Mom, don't say that before it happens. It kind of, it kind of like hurts. It's like, she goes, well, I can't help it. I'm upset. And I understand that. She goes, I'm scared. She said, my mom said the most honest thing a sports fan has ever said in my entire life. She said, I'm scared. And that's her reaction to, she's scared the Bucs are going to lose and the Patriots are going to win. And so she was just sort of saying, let's just get this over with. Touchdown before it happens, right? I get that. Now I get it. Because I'm thinking like, will them to score, right? Will them to score. Hey, thank you for the investment, Mr. Blackman. And so T-Bucks Gaming says, I walked in expecting the Pats to win. Really? The Pats and the Bucs fans booed folk after he mucks to win. And boy, too bad you couldn't call in or something. Are you on Skype, by the way? Are you on Skype? Maybe, we'll do it another time. But are you on Skype now? Do you have Skype? I mean, that would be a great call-in kind of thing. Are you on Skype, T-Bucks 19 Gaming? But because what I'm curious to know is, he says, you're not on Skype? Okay, cool. Got it. Another time. Please, stay in touch. But at any rate, Go CSU Graham says, I agree with Mama Z. I was a little bit nervous myself. Yeah, because you get those butterflies. I know what that feels like. I remember when the Dallas Cowboys played the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 13, and the Cowboys at the middle of the third quarter started to get waxed. I mean, just waxed by the Steelers, right? And then toward the end of the third quarter, and it's part of the fourth, if memory serves, the Cowboys drove to where they were 3rd down and 8 on the Steeler 8, third down and goal from the 8-yard line, Steeler territory. And they lined up double tight end with Tony Dorsett as the only back, double tight end with a tight flanker, I believe it was Drew Pearson, and Staubach, play action the Dorsett, play action line buck, and fired a pass to Jackie Smith over the middle, and Jackie Smith dropped the pass. It was a sure touchdown. I mean, it was a sure touchdown. And the normally frozen Tom Landry just went, no! Because that game, I believe it would have tied. I believe the Cowboys would have been within, 3? But something like that. That game turned on that play. And the wind went out of the Cowboys' sails. What I did was I shut off the TV. I was so sick, I could not watch television anymore. I was like, oh my God, I didn't want to watch football anymore. I was mad. It's like, no, just didn't want to see a game anymore. So I understand what that feels like. I really do. Joseph Binsman says, we'll never forget that play in Super Bowl 42. I was there. When I thought Eli was going to get sacked, he got out of it and hurled it to Tyree. I was there. And in fact, I will prove that I was there. I was there when that happened. Let me show you. Let me show you this. Let me show you that I was there. Hold on a second. This is fun stuff. Fun stuff. You are about to get a treat, folks. Those of you who are sticking around, don't go anywhere. Hold on to your butts, as Samuel L. Jackson would say, and did say in Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. Now, Barry Lee, don't go. Stick around. You're saying no, don't go yet, because you're going to want to see this. Stick around. No, don't go, Barry. Don't go yet. Don't go off into the night, NY Giants. All right, hold on a second. All right, Joseph Binsman, because this is if you leave, you're gonna miss this, and I may never play it again. So hold on a second. You have got to see this. So hold on a second. Don't go anywhere. 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 Oops.
I'm Thomas, and I quit smoking with...
Sorry about that. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, as I say, Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. All right. Now, let me go back here. And where is that? Videos? Yeah, okay. One moment, please, while I set this up. Or to steal a line from Blazing Saddles, what was it? Excuse me while I whip this out. Oh, that was funny. Blazing Saddles. What a hilarious movie. Where is this? Come on. Oh, you know what? Stupid me. I should have done this another way. So I don't have to search around for NY Giants Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. There. Super Bowl. I'm making the accent from this guy that was a big Steelers fan. And he had some sort of, I guess, Polish accent or whatever. And so in the Steelers Super Bowl game video, he's chanting for the Steelers. He goes, "Yo, the Steelers Super Bowl, yay!" It's hilarious. Anyway, you can't make this stuff up, folks. I am not making this stuff up, all right? Okay, folks, this has been seen almost 1 million times, and it is an NFL classic. I was there. This is my video, and you are about to be treated to one of the greatest drives in NFL history, okay? Right here. Hold on. This is from Super Bowl 42. Hold on. There that is. Let me get it off mute. that was fun. Now, there was another video in there that I got beat of the play that almost was, that could really have changed the game. And I would be remiss if I didn't show that play. And it was right here. This is it. This is the final drive right here. So, right here. This is the Pats' final drive. There we go. That was a fun memory. I have to thank Frank Sapovitz for the seats. The NFL has allowed me to buy 2 Super Bowl tickets at face every year since the year that I came to within any NFL votes of bringing the Super Bowl to Oakland. So I thank the NFL very much for that, and that continues to be one of the fine memories of my entire life. That I just had to get an extended look at that, and can't say enough for how much of a treat that was. I just can't. It was quite an experience. The Giants Super Bowl 42, and let's see here. I did go to Super Bowl 50. Yes, I did. I did go to Super Bowl 50. In fact, since you asked that, I'll show you Super Bowl 50. This is Super Bowl 50. And really, you know, that video, I had to fight the NFL to keep the video because it was classic. It had the David Tyree thing in it, right? And NFL legal wanted it, and I said, you can't have it because it's my fair use right to have it. And I won. So, hey, you know, very, very, very happy about that. And the NFL has let me keep it, and it remains a fantastic memory. Now, as far as being at the Super Bowl, yeah, here was my seat. Let's see here. We had the fire. Let's see here. I was trying to figure out which one. I've got so many. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here's one. There's so many I can randomly pick out. I've got Lady Gaga. I've got all these. Here's one. And got another bro. And the difference between then and now is that you didn't.
This is our time. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be things that don't go your way. Keep pounding. Keep pounding. They just keep pounding. How about that, Bill? How about that, Bill? Woohoo!
One game, one opportunity. Go get it.
We're coming for you. Unbelievable. We're going to win as a team and win for each other.
Ain't nothing to talk about. There's only one reason we're here, and it's going to take all 53 guys to win the game.
Everyone's going to have to do their part. That's the only way we'll have a chance to win.
All right. So there's a taste of it. I got a lot more videos there because the technology was different. I did that with my iPhone, whereas the other, you know, Super Bowl 42, right? That was
choose to ride with the right people, doing things for the right reasons, and always.
Super Bowl 42 was, you know, I had a camcorder and you had to wait until I get back and then load the video and then take time to, you know, process it. And it took literally, considering making it and then waiting for it, it took up an hour or, well, 30 minutes or so about, versus 5 minutes per video. So I could sit there and upload videos as I was there. And that's how much technology has changed between, you know, 2008 and 2015, 2016, when I was at Super Bowl 50. So, I rooted for the Panthers. I rooted for the Panthers. straight up. So, there we go. Now, as far as the Ravens defense was definitely on a mission, but I love that. That's my life, and like I say, I've been to 10 Super Bowls, and I've tried to make videos of, if not that, made videos of the parties and everything else. But now we're shifting gears to talk about Cam Newton. I'm going to put out a tweet here real quick. Excuse me for the overindulgence just a bit, but the NFL has been a major part of my life. And if you haven't gotten that before now, you now know. And Rick Rice says, let's see some party photos. I have party video. I have video. All right. So basically I have videos. But again, I've got, my first Super Bowl was Atlanta. And here in 2000. And I'm telling you, Atlanta's going to put on a fantastic Super Bowl. Just will. And come 2019, they really will. Now, what I want to show you, shifting gears and talking about Cam Newton again, is this is what happened to Cam Newton. This is what Cam Newton was best known for, that he blew, okay? And he blew it, okay? And this is it, okay? This is it. Right here, all right? Take a look, folks. This is what Cam called. This is what got Cam Newton to talk sense, basically. Dannon, okay.
Hold it! Come with me. New Dannon Oat Coach 000 is my go-to protein snack.
King. Protein from yogurt?
Yep, this Greek non-fat yogurt packs 15 grams of protein punch.
But what else?
Unlike some other protein snacks, it has 0 added sugar, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 fat.
And will it up my game?
Nah, man. New Dannon Oat Coach 000, official yogurt of the NFL.
No more. He's gone. Cam Newton is not the spokesperson for Oikos 000 yogurt, and it was a logical call, because hey, look, Dannon's demographic is, in fact, let me see what Dannon's demographic is. I was going to say it's probably mostly women, but let's see here. And Joseph Binsman says, I miss my boy Amani Toomer on the field, such a solid player. I agree. Amani was a boss. And Go CSU for Ram says, hey y'all, I have to go have fun. Okay, I'll see you on Sunday. All right. Now, as far as Oikos Dannon yogurt demographics. Dannon yogurt demographics. Hey, is John Marks there? Oh, hey, go CSU Rams. You're very welcome. Thank you. Dannon Consumer Insights, and let's see, that's trying to figure out. Let's see here. Dannon yogurt sales growth has been driven by the young. All right, and let's see. There was something called a cross-sectional analysis of U.S. yogurt demand. I think this will serve as a key. And it says demographic factors are major determinants of household consumption patterns. All right. And we go through this history and blah, blah, blah. The economic analysis goes back to, I'm looking for that one number. Boy, we've made and sold a lot of yogurt. This actually has a mathematical model analysis. Okay. Let's see here. You've got variables, household size, demographics. Oh, here we go. All right. Average size and share of selected demographic variables. Household size, female head 63%. South 36%. white 76%, married 53%, children present 25% in one quarter, female head had college 32%. And those are yogurt purchases. So the bottom line is, without saying anything more, they tend to skew toward women. So, you know, when Cam made his blast toward, you know, Miss Brooke there, he basically insulted a key demographic of a major NFL sponsor that had him as the face of their product. That's how stupid what he did was. Now, you can talk about PC and you can talk about this and that, but look, we are in what I call an influencer economy, and that is a person's face is very often represented with a product. And so Cam Newton, high profile guy, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, you know, all that goes with that. They wanted him as the spokesperson for Dan Okio's 000. And when I first heard that they were selecting Cam Newton as the representative, I thought, whoa, that's odd, but it's cool. Let's see how it works. And for some time, it worked really well until this week. Didn't week. As John Mark says, no endorsement for Cam Newton. And, well, he's only lost one, okay? But that was a major one. And Benjamin said, what do you think about Cam Newton's recent apology video? Let's take a look at that. And let's play it. And let's see. Let's draw our own conclusions, okay? Because my point with all this is that is quite simply that you have to watch what you say. You cannot just say anything you want to anybody. And you just can't, okay? And I don't care, and not only that, people talk about this whole jazz about political correctness and everything. The rise in the use of that term declined with the behavior of men as gentlemen. And it also increased with diversity. Because then you had these nincompoop racists who just wanted to say what they wanted to get something yah-yah off their minds, right? And all of a sudden, they realized, hey, they're causing a ruckus and a disturbance of the peace, and you can't do that. You're being politically correct. Well, no, you're being an idiot. We just don't want to hear you be an idiot. That's what it boils down to, okay? And Cam Newton should understand that. I mean, he really should understand that what he said was just wrong. Okay, here's the apology. I'm trying to find this. When I click on video, all right, here it is. Here's the apology, folks. The Cam Newton apology.
After careful thought, I understand that my word choice was extremely degrading and disrespectful to women. And to be honest, that was not my intention. And if you are a person who took offense to what I said, I sincerely apologize to you. I'm a man who tries to be a positive role model in my community and tries to use my platform to inspire others. And I take ownership to everything that comes with that. And what I did was extremely unacceptable. I'm a father to two beautiful daughters. And at their age, I try to instill in them that they can do and be anything that they want to be. And the fact that during this whole process, I've already lost sponsors and countless fans, I realized that the joke is really on me. And I've learned a valuable lesson from this. And to the young people who see this, I hope that you learn something from this as well. Don't be like me, be better than me. And to the reporters, to the journalists, to the moms, super moms, to the daughters, the sisters, and the women all around the world, I sincerely apologize and hope that you can find the kindness in your heart to forgive. Thank you.
Okay, here's Ray Lewis. I think Ray Lewis made a comment. This is what Ray Lewis said, all right?
Yeah. He went, he and a fan in Kansas City, he said it was a racial slur, and he, you know, he did what he did, and he said, listen, you don't know what I saw, you don't know what I dealt with. And so he comes out and he said, I was called the N-word several times to the point where an NFL employee had to stand by me the whole game. It's the reason why
Hold on a second, that's not...
why guys are kneeling during the anthem.
That's not... that's not it. They titled the video the wrong way. Hold on.
When somebody does something, then you'll never know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, this is...
Right? And so when...
This guy put up the wrong video, so...
Don't see producing football,
basketball,
here it is. Baseball content.
Here it is, all right.
So it's the awareness for you that drives you nuts.
It is, because I think Cam is coming at it from a...
Here's Ray Lewis on it.
Be aware of their surroundings.
Greatest quarterback, and then he comes out 4 days later and is just a jerk. Like is people I've worked with who have a great day or a moment. In a moment. It's 2 Super Bowls, 13 to now Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And my takeaway on Cam is, and you and I have had these conversations either on or off the air, but greatness isn't a moment. It's a choice. Cam's more of a diet. I'm going to eat well today. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, this is who I am. You played with a lot of guys, and this is Cam to me. Cam is people I've worked with who have a great day or a moment, but the next day they come in with a hangover, right? So Cam's history is, off great games or seasons, he has some of his worst games. So Cam plays great against the Patriots. One of his best games, national TV, beats the greatest quarterback, and then he comes out 4 days later and is just a jerk. Like when you look at Cam as a leader, just the word leader, what is he missing?
Awareness. Leaders have to always be aware of their surroundings. What's coming out of their mouth? Who do they affect? What does it mean? And that's one of the biggest things. Because when you watch the way that he approached that question, he wasn't approaching that question as a leader. He was approaching that question as, oh, wow, a woman asked me about football. I talk to women all day about football. A lot of women know about football.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of women know about football. Real.
Last night in the internet, Ray, there was NFL Network has a show. I forget the name of the show. Oh, it's Total Access. And the producers of the show were like 7 women, and they went on and they said, hey, Cam, any questions? So it was solely produced by, and in this business.
Okay. So you get the idea. I mean, Cam blew it. I mean, he really, really blew it. Now, the question is,
business we've been in,
where does Cam go from here? And I think he can only go up. John Marks says Cam just didn't think what he was saying. And that video, what happened was actually, it was the right video, but the guy had titled the middle part of it to the eventual subject of Cam Newton, but didn't take off the front part of it, which started with Terrell Pryor's issue with something that happened in Kansas City with he and a fan, which I haven't looked into, but I will. That was all the same video. It wasn't the wrong video. It was the right video, but I started off not knowing that the title was not what I was going to get in the first 8 minutes of the presentation you saw. Okay, so that's what happened with that. But I digress. Now, Joseph Bensman says, yeah, wasn't thinking. I caught after the car crash a few years ago, Cam got it. Obviously, still has maturing to do. And yeah, he really does. But again, I believe, and John Marks says he'll be fine. I agree with that. But I believe that what was in Cam's mind was something that maybe he felt he couldn't say, which is, oh, as a woman, you can't possibly be looking at him running a route. You're looking at him and you're like thinking, oh, how sexy and physicality, and right? Because he said it like that, kind of like, oh, yeah, right. It still wasn't right for him to say that way. But the point is, he was so busy in the mode of being the kind of classic, oh yeah, I'm cool, I got you, brother, you know, ladies, smooth kind of dude, right? That he quite literally didn't remember that he is a leader who represents people who put millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars behind him. There's no other way to put it, okay? He forgot that. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anyone's opinion is. Those of you out there who think that what he did is okay don't have to live with the consequences of what he did. He does. It would be different if everybody who thought that what Cam Newton did was okay had to pay a percentage to make up for the sponsors that he lost. If they were in a contractual position to do that, their thinking would be entirely different. John Mark says, is he doing a Carl Sagan moment? Okay. But Rick Rice says it's just a locker room talk. That's all, guys being guys. But hey, look, Rick Rice, it's not the locker room. It's the podium, which just underscores how stupid it was. All right? It just underscores how stupid it was. And even then, you have to remember, women are in the locker room now, right? Personally, I think that's great. So John Marks, I got that one. Joseph Binsman says, I was being sarcastic, Rick, but thanks for the compliment. Joseph Binsman says, laugh out loud, got him. And Benjamin 427, that's a long one. Benjamin 42779 says, the biggest problem is that Cam lacks moral consciousness. And what does that mean, moral consciousness? To lack moral consciousness. And I know what it means colloquially. It means that he wasn't thinking about the right thing to say or do, right? But what's the dictionary definition of that? If I put that in search, what do I come up with? I come up with a book. Moral consciousness and commutative action is the primary Anglophone discourse for whatever. Moral consciousness, legal definition of moral consciousness. All right, here we go. Get something here that, you know, might make sense. What is moral consciousness? It is, let's see here. It is consciousness, responsibility, and believe it or not, the page is mostly empty. What is moral consciousness? It's not even really put in here. This is hilarious. They've got moral evidence, moral degeneracy. This is some sort of, you know, clickbait page. This is interesting. They are supposed to give you the legal definition, and that they don't. Okay, so I'm not getting it from them. Let me try something here. Moral consciousness. Moral consciousness by Randy Gage. And moral consciousness and computer active, the moral consciousness. It doesn't really, there's a legal definition, but there isn't really a, okay, here it is. The rules of behavior of an individual or a group may follow out of personal conscience, and that are not necessarily part of legislated law in the United States. Moral law is a system of guidelines for behavior. These guidelines may or may not be part of a religion, codified in written form, or legally enforceable. So there, in the legal definition of moral, that's the moral law legal definition, okay? Well, here's one. What is moral consciousness? Because it's one thing to say that, but then the other is to actually find it, and it's like, all right. And then this is another one. This is a long one. It's consciousness as a emotive response. I mean, this one, golly, this page is so long it would make me consider good. You know, this is wild. I mean, can't someone just give me a simple definition? Moral consciousness. Okay, lacking. All right, here we go. Here it is. Here it is. This is from Catholic City. Moral consciousness. This is it. An inner law, 1776. Deep within his conscience, a man discovers a law which he must obey, namely to do good and to avoid evil. In his conscious man's most secret core, he is alone with God, whose voice echoes within man. And conscience, judge of individual acts, an upright conscience assumes responsibility, man's duty to have a right conscience, difficulties in judging, sources of error, unable to overcome. I mean, it's a lot here. All right. Basically, there is no one set definition for the dang on thing. So I'll allow for one. Moral consciousness is knowing when to do right. That's it. And it's doing unto others as you would have others do unto you. Essentially, moral consciousness, not consciousness, is the awareness of the golden rule. That is what Cam Newton lacked. Okay, so Joseph Bensman says something Trump doesn't have. Easy definitions. Benjamin 42779 says exactly. Jacob P says good night, to which I say good night to you, sir. And it is 1:32 in the morning, and I'm going to turn to the Raiders because I did promise a preview. And so with that, let's go back to NFL.com and, get a look at what the preview is. In fact, you know what? Forget NFL.com. I'm going to the media website because they generally have a really good one. All right. So let me sign in and see what the cat dragged in to the NFL media website. Let's see, NFL transactions. Oh, here's the injury report. Let's see here. Oh, you've got all right, injury report. Let's scroll down. Always start with the injury report for the Raiders. All right, injury report Thursday. Eagles. Baltimore Ravens at Oakland Raiders. Baltimore Ravens. Practice report Thursday. Practice not complete. Did not participate in practice Wednesday. Cornerback Jimmy Smith. Tight end Benjamin Watson. Safety Ladarius Webb. Defensive tackle Brandon Williams foot. Tight end Max Williams ankle. Limited participation in practice Wednesday. Cornerback Jalen Hill thigh. Safety Anthony Levine thigh. Full participation in practice Wednesday. Wide receiver Jeremy Maclin hand. Oakland Raiders. Practice report Thursday. Practice not complete. Did not participate in practice Wednesday. Quarterback Derek Carr back. Cornerback Darian Conley shin. Defensive end Mario Edwards back. And guard Gabe Jackson foot. Limited participation in practice Wednesday. Cornerback Dave Emerson concussion. Wide receiver Amari Cooper, that's knee. Wide receiver Michael Crabtree, that's chest. Running back DeAndre Washington, hamstring. So that's how the injuries report stacks up right now. They don't yet provide the game preview. They got the injury report. Wait a minute, maybe. Nope. What to look for week 5. Let's see here. We've got week 5. Teams at the top. Let's see if there's anything that pertains to the Raiders. And there's not right now as I speak to this. Let's see here. Larry Fitzgerald. Purple rookies. Strong out of the gates. Gore. Frank Gore is gaining ground. Good for Frank Gore. Precision passers. Well, ours is not in it. And DeMarcus dominating. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dallas. 7.5 sacks in the team's first 5 games. So watch out for DeMarcus Lawrence of Dallas. Of course, well, yeah, lost to the Rams. Anyway, so there's your injury report preview. And so Rick Rice says, no chance, John. They're going to be against elite quarterback. And, Corvette's going to be at the game. Woo! I will be here in Georgia. And Harry Dunn says, funny how Newton will kneel for equality for racial justice, but belittles females for knowing football. Hypocritical much. Harry, that is something that is not escapable. And, as I was talking to my mom about downstairs, you can't as an African American, say that you understand or you want people to feel sorry for you if you're treated inappropriately as, you know, the only black person in a group, and yet turn around and treat someone who's the only woman or one of a few females in an all-male environment that way. And as I said last night, that's horrible. Okay. Corvette is, I'm not going to give away where he's going to be sitting at the Raiders game. I think he's entitled to that privacy. That's within the club. If you happen to watch it, if you happen to be watching Zenny 62 live, you will see where he is sitting, and you can go and say hi to him. But I'm not going to broadcast it to everybody who happens to be watching video on demand right now as he types his seat location. Sorry about that, Corvette. But hey, look, I didn't do it. So, going back to preview of the Ravens in game, let's go back to NFL.com, because they generally have the statistical breakdown, right, between the teams. Let's see if they have that in this instance on up top ticker. And what they will tell us, here we go, I believe. Yeah, there's the familiar logo. Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, my time. The Ravens at the Coliseum against the Raiders. And Derek Carr, they have Derek Carr passing.
Lucky
even though,
for me, there's some great golf here in the Carolinas.
Hold on a second.
Golf for...
Oh my lord.
No, Geico could help you score some great savings on
Geico
car
guy,
insurance.
can you please get rid of the Geico guy? Geico guy, go away.
Oh, all in one.
Man.
Go to geico.com today.
All right. Geico guy, knock it off. All right. Geico guy is gone. Yay. All right. Okay. Joe Flacco, 73 of 116 for 801 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay. Team matchup. Total yards per game, the Raiders are ahead by 287 to 269. Passing yards per game, the Raiders are way ahead. 201 average to 142 for the Ravens. Rush yards per game. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. All right. This is what I'm looking at here. All right. Rush yards per game, though. Ooh, look at that. That's a danger sign, folks. That is a danger sign, okay? That's a danger sign. And so what that means, if you look at rushing in terms of yards per carry, all right, this spells trouble for the Raiders. Marshawn Lynch, 3.4 yards. Jalen Richards, 6.1. You got Alex Collins, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's 8.2 yard average, okay? Javorius Allen, 3.6, so on balance, their rushing attack is better than ours. So, you know what? That's what, on paper, it looks like an even matchup. An effective passing team versus an effective running team. But there's one big difference. E.J. Manuel is the starter for the Raiders. And so because of that unknown, because it changes the game plan for the Raiders over what would have been done with Derek Carr. Remember, E.J. Manuel can run. I'm going to go out of my way, and I'm going to predict that the Raiders are going to blow the Ravens out of the stadium. You heard me. My prediction, Raiders 38, Ravens 17. Oakland Raiders 38, Baltimore Ravens 17. I repeat, Oakland Raiders 38, Baltimore Ravens 17. I will say that again. Oakland Raiders 38, Baltimore Ravens 17. Yeah, so what say you to that? Joseph Ben says, gonna say it because it's an Oakland Raiders win. John Marks goes, Rick Wright says 38, ha ha ha. To which I say, yes, yes, yes. And do I think Joe Flacco is regressing? I don't, well, given his numbers, it's not his numbers that are the problem. It's what they're asking him to do in that scheme. That's the problem. They're not putting it all on him. They're very obviously putting it on their running backs. I mean, their running statistics are skewed in in a way that obviously says they're emphasizing putting the ball on the ground and not through the air. Which means that they haven't done a great job of catching up in games where they're falling behind. So, now, Rick Rice says, are they playing 13 quarters? You mean like quarters? Nah. It's football. Not quarters. Not, like that, okay? John Mark says, last time I checked, Barry Lee says, says Barry Lee, Oakland 28, Ravens 14. Okay. John Mark says, last I checked, there's 4 quarters in football. Yeah. And give me a prediction, John Marks. Give me a prediction. Give me a prediction. Give me a prediction. And I'm going to check out in 3 minutes because it's late. So give me a prediction, please. Hello. I'm waiting, John Marks. Do you have a prediction for me? No. 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 Okay, he doesn't have a prediction. So, all right. I'm going to say good night, everybody. John Marks is leaving us without a prediction. Here he goes. Ravens. John Marks predicts Ravens 24, Raiders 24, Ravens 21. Again, John Marks says Raiders 24, Ravens 21. Jacob P., I will get back to that Sunday night. Rick Rice says, let's see, Rick Rice basically does not offer us. Give us a score, Rick Rice. Who's going to win? You've got, okay, Joseph Binsman says, gives us one. And Joseph Binsman says that Raiders 27, Ravens 23, okay? Ravens 27, Raiders 23. Corvette says 24-17 Raiders. Rick Rice does not offer a score at all. Rick Rice is chickening out from offering a score. I offered one. Rick Rice has not offered a score. So, all right. So we've got everybody with Rick Rice who is too chicken to offer a score. Good night, everybody. I will see you all. That's not a score. Give us a score, Rick Rice. Good night. John Mark says Derek Carr plays. Okay. We shall see. My prediction, E.J. Manuel, 317 yards, 4 touchdown passes. There you go. There's my prediction. All right. On top of the 38-17. Good night, everybody. I will see you all Sunday night. Sunday night. And I may have another special guest. More than likely Ray Chester again. But we shall see. All right. I will talk to you all. I think Ray Chester may still be out of town. I got to double check. All right. Joseph Binsman. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Rick Rice is saying 24-9 Raiders over the Ravens. Is that what you're saying? Is that right? Yes or no? Hurry up. Hurry up. People are waiting. Hurry up. Is that what you're saying? Raiders 24, Ravens 9. Is that what you're saying? That's pretty much a blowout. Is that what you're saying? Yeah? Yeah? Huh? Okay. Good night, everybody. Bye. Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.